I used to say early on when I was a kid, when I was a young senator, I'd say, if I were a Jew, I'd be a Zionist. I am a Zionist. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
Now, I love a good conspiracy theory as much as the next person, but what I do not like doing is setting a specific date for when said conspiracy theory is going to happen. For instance, there are people still to this day that are telling me that I owe them one death because they did not pass away on September 23rd, like I promised them. Very, very weird stuff, but there are things we should still be cautious to, even if nothing happens, just because they don't sound right, and just because it could potentially lead to something bad, which could lead to something far worse. With that something bad having to do with Joe Biden's high-stake trip to Israel on Wednesday. Now, it is indeed possible that this trip will go as smooth as possible. Nothing will go wrong, and he will get the perfect photo op. But the negatives do greatly outweigh the positives. This could potentially be a catastrophic false flag attack. We have a United States president going to a location where there is currently a massive fight breaking out, and I just wonder where that's going to lead to. The United States has inserted themselves into this fight. We have sent 2,000 military troops to the ground. We have sent a fleet, we have sent money. So our enemies know who we are backing in this fight, and it is a no-brainer because we are Israel's biggest ally. And since it has been circulating all throughout the media, now our enemies know that the United States president is now going to be in the conflict zone on Wednesday. This is why I say the whole world's a stage, the whole world is just one big play. On Monday, Israel asked the United States for $10 billion in emergency military aid. Congress is actually trying to put together this aid package in coordination with the White House. 2 days later, we're going to have an unprecedented visit of a United States president going to an active conflict zone. So is something going to happen that's going to justify that $10 billion? Very, very suspicious timing. And if a false flag does happen that involves a United States president, who do you think they're going to blame it on? They are going to blame it on Iran. They really want this fight with Iran, more so than you think. If you do not believe that a suspicious false flag is occurring here, just look at some of these articles. Iran warns of preemptive action against Israel amid Gaza fight. Tehran has warned that a ground offensive on the besieged Gaza Strip would be met with a response from other fronts. Iran has warned of a possible preemptive action against Israel in the coming hours. And in the coming hours, we do have a United States president visiting Israel. This really writes itself. It really sets itself up. The Iranian foreign minister said in a live broadcast to state TV late Monday that any preemptive measure is imaginable in the coming hours. So again, this is not me being a conspiracy theorist. This is me seeing all the signs, seeing all the suspicious activity. Just like those signs said in New Jersey, if you see suspicious activity, report it. So this is what I'm doing. I'm reporting it. You have Israel's enemy and the United States enemy warning them of an attack in the next upcoming hours. And we, the United States, are sending the United States president to this actual conflict zone where this preemptive attack is going to take place. Even if Iran is just bluffing, nothing is going to happen, why still take the risk? Oh, I forgot, because Joe Biden is a risk taker. He is always there to show solidarity, to show support when something bad happens, when there is a crisis. Even though people kept asking him to visit the southern border to see how bad the border crisis actually is. And Biden finally does visit the southern border on January 8th, 2023, 2 years after his presidency began. Biden has yet to still visit Palestine, East Palestine, Ohio, where that terrible train derailment occurred in February. A fiery train derailment that poisoned the environment in East Palestine, Ohio, with a range of highly toxic chemicals. You have families that are still experiencing the burning of eyes, nose, and throat and other symptoms widely reported among the population in the small town near the Pennsylvania border. 80% of the residents say they suffer from new symptoms experienced since the wreck. Headaches, rashes, coughs, eye irritation, diarrhea are still present. And about 40% of the population say they now suffer from PTSD. These residents have said that state and federal officials have downplayed residents' concerns and potential health threats, and sometimes even offered contradicting information that has generated deep mistrust, and residents say there's a sense of being left on their own. So you would think this would be the perfect time for a United States president to visit Ohio to show solidarity and show them that they are not alone. But no, 7 months after this catastrophic train derailment in East Palestine, Joe Biden has said he just hasn't had the occasion to visit the area. I haven't had the occasion to go to East Palestine because there's a lot going on here, and I just haven't been able to have a break. Yet this same risk-taking president who could not visit Americans within the United States because he needed a break is now rushing to visit a conflict zone where they just got warning of an impending attack and impending threat within hours. So we now know who owns the United States president, and that's not me saying that, just listen to the United States president himself.
Were I a Jew, I would be a Zionist. And my father pointed out to me, I did not need to be a Jew to be a Zionist, for I am. And I say again, you need not be a Jew to be a Zionist. The fact is that since then, I've known every single prime minister, and it's been an honor.
When I was a young senator, I say, if I were a Jew, I'd be a Zionist. I am a Zionist. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
Even if nothing happens to this president during this trip to this conflict zone, they are still setting us up for this fight with Iran. What else have we been hearing in the news lately? Well, this country, Iran, that has set up this preemptive attack on multiple fronts, while Iranians are crossing into the United States from the southern United States border. Thousands upon thousands of migrants are seen crossing into the United States daily from the southern border. More than 2.8 migrants have had encounters with authorities so far in 2023 alone. We have always been told that these people are coming from South American countries, that they are asylum seekers looking for a better life within the United States. Because there are so many migrants, like I said, thousands upon thousands daily, many people are not caught. Many of these people just slip right through the cracks. Because we do not have the manpower at the southern border to deal with so many migrants, many of these migrants are shipped from Texas on a bus to New York. New York just releases these migrants out into the street. Well, come to find out, many of these migrants are not from South America at all. Many of these migrants are coming from the Middle East, from countries like Iran, countries that have stated they are ready with their preemptive attack. 4 Iranians considered a terror threat caught at the United States-Mexico border as crossers from countries with links to the Israel fight spikes. Well, good job. You have caught 4 of perhaps hundreds that slip through the cracks daily. This is not the Border Patrol agents' fault. They are understaffed. They're underpowered. They do not have the adequate funds to deal with thousands of migrants that reach to the United States border. But this is how the game works. We have a very weak border that's not being properly funded. They want this war with Iran. They are telling us they are coming through from the southern border and that they are capturing them. But what they aren't telling us is how many they are not capturing. They are refusing to allocate funds to the southern border to strengthen it, to protect it. Yet, at the same time, we are being told that the American economy, the United States economy, is the best it's ever been. It's excellent. So excellent that we can fund not only Israel, the fight in Israel, but also the fight with Russia. We can continue supporting the country that begins with the letter U in Europe. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said on Monday that the United States can continue to support both the country that begins with the letter U in Europe and Israel in their respective fight because the United States economy is excellent. So excellent that the United States economy is currently in $33 trillion debt. And it is seen to surge to $50 trillion by the end of this decade. $50 trillion in debt by 2030. Social Security is threatened constantly to be wiped out due to the economy. Inflation is as high as it's ever been in recent years. We don't have the money to allocate to the southern border to strengthen our national security, but we do have the money to strengthen the national security of other countries. Make that make sense? But as I said previously, this is how it's set up to be by the powers that be. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.